Good morning. Good morning, replayers. I'm in a different spot. Don't be nervous. I am going to make fabric rope and then a fabric basket. So I am going to try and do this at my sewing machine. So you're going to see a lot of me moving the camera. I'm hopefully not going to jostle you too much, but I am going to try and make this as painless as I possibly can for you. I love that you're here. I so appreciate you taking your time to watch what I'm doing. I know there's lots of channels out there that you could be watching instead. I'm just thrilled that you are here. Good morning, Janice. Good morning, Joni. I'm so glad you're here. You're the first two here, so you're going to be getting the happy mail. I need to figure out something I can do for my replayers. Janet Nash draws. I don't know what I can do instead. Good morning, Melody. I am at a new spot. I am experimenting with this. I started making rope in Florida, and I just kept wrapping it around spools. And I've never done anything with it. So thank you, Melody. I did my hair. I did my makeup because I knew I'd be right here. Marty, get you some coffee. I know this is extremely early for you. Go get you some coffee. Okay, Janice, then I will go to Melody. So I'll send a happy mail to Joni and Melody. Thank you, Janice. That's very sweet of you. I have my little scarecrow mug. I just love it. It is handmade, hand painted. I found it at a consignment store. So I will be here. Hi, lovely Malia. You're a new sub. Today I'm in a different spot, Malia. Hi, Pan. The kids all delivered. I am at my sewing machine, and usually I'm at my crafting table. But today we are going to make fabric rope. And as I was saying, all of my stuff is on the floor. This is what I was doing over the weekend. This came from a placemat that was falling apart. And so I took the placemat, and as you can see, there's short little chunks, and I just kept feeding them through. My first attempt ended up being, I'll get it. I forgot to pull that. You know, when everything's someplace else, it's hard to. All right, Janice, you have a wonderful day. Thank you for dropping in. Hi, Barbara. We did not start without you. I knew you and Pam would be here. Okay, Melody. So I will send Joni and Marty happy mail. This is my first attempt. No, this is my first attempt. And as you can see, it's just a little bitty. I just wanted to see what I could do with it. Then I made this, and this was the first time I tried going up. This was my second attempt. Then I went to this. And what I learned from this is make the bottom larger, because this is not very sturdy and it falls over. So it just has lightweight threads and that type of thing in it. I tried putting heavier things and it tipped. So that's why I learned to make my bottom larger. Now, for any replayers, this is We Learning Together. I just started making these Sunday. So I'm by far from the expert at this. So I didn't have enough of the placemat thread to really make a whole lot more in order to show you. So I decided to take my strips of fabric, and some I cut thinner. There was no exact width whatsoever of these. Some aren't even straight. I would clip, tear. If some got thinner at the bottom, they did. This one, I didn't even get clipped in half. Same with this one. And see how short that is? And that little arrow thing may stay on there. I cut Jackson and Emerson's pillowcases, and so I even used some of the strips of that. So that's what we are using. I am not using rope. I am making the rope. And once I get onto this ball, I'll be going pretty good. But until then, you're going to see me going back and forth down to the floor to get another piece of fabric. Now you will notice on this piece here that, and oh, there's the end, that hi Gail, these are not even. These have strings sticking out. They have fabric sticking out. But as I zigzag the bowl together, I'm hoping that will kind of form more into less of that, I guess I could say. But it doesn't bother me if it doesn't. And you'll see lots of color, because I didn't worry about what colors I put together. I mean, look at a flower garden. Is there really many colors that clash? You know, God kind of put them all there. There's some that look better than others. So I don't worry too much about my fabric in that way. Some you're going to just see the underneath side, and it's all good. Marty, isn't that the truth? But now you know why. Yes, Gail and excuse me, Barbara, you now know why. So this is what I've made, but never fear, I'm going to show you how to get started. So let me move you down, as Lizzie says, to the showroom floor, where the sewing machine is going to be the focal point as I do this. So I've got to get situated. I want to catch up on my, so Thank you all for welcoming lovely Malia. I am so glad you're here, Malia. Let me get a drink of my tea. All right. To begin this with, I got to move you down to the showroom floor. Okay. We'll adjust as we look. All right. As you can see, I just grabbed 3 pieces of fabric. They are 3 different lengths. Hi, Teresa. So glad you came in. They are 3 different lengths. Lengths don't matter. Okay, thank you. I'll back up, Gail. That's what I can't see what's on my phone now. Ooh, that looks like it'll be better. Okay, so 3 different lengths. I like keeping the different lengths. Now, I have watched some videos using rope. But I've not watched many. Now, to start with, what I did to make my rope is I just twisted, and then I use my needle to hold it down. And then as I go, I just keep twisting. Now, if you're wanting your certain colors to show, you'll have to watch your fabric. I don't care. So I do not worry about if this black and white shows. I use 3 for the sturdiness of the rope. Because if you've seen fabric rope, my sister uses clothesline. I don't know what Angie uses. I really wish she would come in so we could get some of her expertise. You see my true color. All right. So I just get it twisted, and I use a straight sewing stitch going down it because I use a zigzag for the actual basket. I am using variegated thread on the top because it'll blend in with my rope that's all different colors. I am using red in my bobbin because my bobbin doesn't matter. And it was full, and when I was making the other, I just wanted a full bobbin. So don't get too worried about the colors of your bobbin unless it's important to you that they match. Also, if you know that you're doing a shabby chic colors, you're going to want probably lighter colors. Entirely up to you. So, excuse me. I just try and go down the middle of my rope. And I stop and I twist, and I've got to turn the air conditioner down. I don't know how sewing can be such a sedentary hobby and sitting at a sewing machine and be able to get so hot. Yes, it turns out pretty flat, Gail. It does. Okay, so. And if that's not what you want, feel free to see if you can come up with a better. This is the second time of me doing what I'm doing today. All right, as you can see, this black and white is almost gone. So, and this is a little wider than I like. I have used it this wide. So I just clip it and rip it. Okay, yes, in my little basket though, I used what I got from a placemat, Gail. So that makes a difference. And I will use what I have left on my spool here for something. I don't know what, but we all know Emerson's going to get here and see these baskets and thinking she needs one. We all know that. So I'll probably make something like that for her. Okay, so as I get to this short one, I just lay it there and hold on to it as I twist. I was listening to some kind of YouTube something, I don't even remember now what, as I did this, and man, the time went fast. Now, if you really want it to show one color, solid fabrics do this. This is the, and you will continuously pull thread. So make sure you've got the trash can or a basket if you save it like I do, handy. Now, just keep, and I just really hold on to it until I get it under that needle. That needle I use as a holder. Okay. I'm about out of, or I am out of that last fabric. So I'm using what I made part of my living room curtains out of. And that's what you'll keep doing, is continually adding fabric strips. And so that's why I said you'll see me. I figure that's my morning exercise, is bending over to get that fabric out of the bowl. Okay, as you can see, that floral fabric is about gone. And see, I'm not worrying that it's the underside of it. If you're more persnickety than I am, you might. But here I'm going to add this white. And see, it's a little wide. If you get lazy or like I am, I just leave it. To me, making this rope is not something to stress about. It's rope. And I find that I'm hoping will be the charm of this basket. Now, I did see on YouTube where some people made gorgeous baskets, and they stopped and they wrapped fabric around the ropes, all kinds of things. And I was quite in awe of them. But that's not me. They say that Virgos, which I am, are to be perfectionists. I don't know where they got that at, because I'm not. I guess maybe I should have been born in August. I don't know if that's a Virgo or not. I don't pay much attention. Here's just a little short piece, but hey, we can use it too. Now, I think, is it Baltic? Batik? That kind of fabric where it shows on both sides would make a beautiful rope. And see, I just kind of sometimes just twist it around even. Whoops. Need to twist a little more. But see, I didn't get too uptight about that. I for sure am not getting a seam ripper out to fix any of this. Oops, I've got some of that in there. Let's go. I'm going to cut this one because I don't think I have a lot of this. As you can see, when I clipped, I did a little crooked. So my halves will not be the same. See how I got that little bit? Not a problem. We're going to be twisting it. Nobody will ever know. Unless you do what I'm doing. And twisting it or tail or put it on YouTube. Do I still have 3? Yes. And if I stop, I might twist that to go correctly, or I might not. You know, it's whatever kind of suits your fancy. It does not bother me if I pick up the same fabric strips one after the other. I do try not to have 2 strips of the same fabric going. I don't know why. It really doesn't matter because you're twisting it, but I think it's just a personal thing. Whoops. Sorry about that. Well, there we go. I don't back up either because I'm going to be zigzagging this as we make a basket. So I figure that's going to be, excuse me, my okay, you guys think you had this part down pat? Angie sells fabric baskets, and she does a beautiful job. Sorry if my arm gets in the way, but my thread basket is back there behind me. I use leftover thread to stuff things like my Lola dolls, old ladies, little old ladies with attitude. There's a Facebook site that has them. Aunt Beck Creates. Everybody's making her owl. I used my threads to stuff there. When I made Benson's dog pillow, I used stuffing for that. I think these colors would make a beautiful fabric basket, a shabby chic one, and use some lace in it. That would be a good way to get rid of some lace too. And it's not hard at all to connect the fabric rope. Like this won't be hard at all to connect to my next rope. Now don't ask me anything about using fabric rope. Eons ago, I did go to a class where we made one. No idea what I've done with it. But we did it all by hand. We even stitched it by hand. And this loose thread that I'm getting all over me is I just pull it off if it's handy. I hope you're able to follow these instructions. If I'm going too fast or too slow, let me know. And I'm not going to do this for much longer because I know this is probably worse than watching paint dry. See, now this is Emerson's pillowcase I cut out yesterday. And we're just going to sew it right on in. Yes, I bought one of her bowls. I hope this doesn't sound ugly. So I could get an up close picture, and they are pretty. I mean, she has no misses on her bowl. I have to check to see how much fabric I have. I think ribbon would also be pretty to make a fabric bowl with. Maybe ribbon and lace. Oh, thank you, Teresa. I am using an old needle that was still in my machine for making my dresses. If I were to do something different, I'd probably change it to a heavy duty ribbon. But you know, this is a rope. So I really am not worrying about how big the holes are and all those kinds of things. And I figure this is a good way to get use out of a needle. But after I get done with all these and I start back on the pillowcases, I will change my needle. I need a short one because I'm going to stop with this part. Where's a short? Here's one. Left over from one of those aprons I did. A flannel Christmas one might be fun. But I don't want to cut good fabric. Now, and I think Angie does. Of course, she's selling them because all of her gold fabric, I don't know why I went backwards, but anyway. So this is my rope. I hope my arm wasn't in the way the whole time. Okay. Marty, I am just using a straight stitch right now. Like when I sewed my dresses and stuff, I finished up my towels and so this is, no, that's not what I want. Those are all zigzag. Here's one. I don't know if you can see or not, but that's the size of the straight stitch. Hi, Jeannie. How are you? So it's fairly close together. I would imagine if you based it, it might work. Marty. Sorry. But this is the rope. Oh, a good rainy day here. So as you can see, I've got white spots. I guess if it bothered me, I could sew them in underneath, but I'm not going to. All right, now to get started, I'm going to cut. All right. To get started, you take the beginning and you hold it. And then you're going to, I'm trying to do this. I'm going to stop so you can see what I'm doing. And then, because I need more fingers, and then I'm going to put a straight pin through to kind of hold that. So I have something to hold on to when I get it underneath my foot. Hi, Vanessa. And then I pull my pin out. And once I have enough that my fingers can kind of hold on to it, then I'm kind of good to go. But otherwise, hi, Margaret, it's hard to hold on to. And so I just put some straight pins through, and this will be enough. I can get started. So I'm going to hold on to that, and then I'm going to change to my zigzag. And I make it pretty wide, and I make it pretty long too. It's about 5. And so now I'm going to take my pin out. And I'm going to start here in the middle, and I'm going to start zigzagging. This is Burnett 79. It's in the Bernina family, and it came with the embroidery machine to go with it. All right, so now I'm going to start there in the middle, and please, anybody that comes in, hello, my eyes are going to be here so I don't lose a finger. So for a minute till I get started, and you know I hate doing that, y'all. I'd rather watch my chat, but I kind of need a finger. All right, so then you've got to, and you're going to see a lot of my hand till I get started, so I will keep stopping. I am just going to go straight forward and get rid of this. I found that the loose thread can be a detriment, so I try and get rid of those all I can. Here in a minute, I'll get this turned around. Okay. And then I put my needle down. I lift my foot. And then I turn it. So I'm going one direction. And then I turn it. So then I can go across again. And that just kind of holds my rope. Is it all okay? And then I'm going to, and this is the one thing I found. There's lots of stopping, there's lots of starting, and there's lots of slowness. And if you get your zigzag wide enough, and you stay between the two coils, and you want to keep it flat, because once you start turning, then you're doing your sides. Now, y'all coming in, I am very, very new at this. I've not seen anybody make their own rope and then try to make it into something. But I didn't have rope. So I am experimenting, and we are kind of learning together. Okay, so I'm just coiling. And I'm going to have to go the other way here in a minute because I can't twist it under this direction. But right now you can see it. Okay, my sewing machine's making a noise. Making sure all is well. Now, as excuse me, as you get to going and you get more expertise, you can probably go faster. And with this, if you don't want to make a bowl, you could make hot pads. You could make coasters. placemats, you know, whatever. But it's a fun, I find it to be a fun fabric scrap buster. Now, here in a minute, I'm going to go the other way, but I will show you. Now, I have to check for gaps between my coil because I am not an expert and I have them. I don't go very straight. These are not a gift. These are for me. And until I become more adept, I won't be giving them away soon. Okay, now I do go back, but I want to show you what it's looking like from my side. So this is what we have right now. Now, as you can see, this is kind of turning up. I didn't get this sewn very well. And I try and kind of go through and see if I have any gaps. Lo and behold, I don't. So I'm going to, though, have to turn it over, which is nice that it doesn't matter, because I need my side that I can eventually start turning out here on this side. So I'm going to start here, and being right-handed, that makes it easier for me. But I thought maybe you could see better the other way. Now I am going to just speed it up just a tad, or you're going to fall asleep. It's early for Marty. We don't want her falling asleep. And I probably have to turn you to a different angle once I start tipping up the side. This is a good project to listen to music, or my favorite, a book. Because just listening to the burr of the sewing machine might make somebody go bonkers. It's not a job to do when you have a 6-year-old who's wanting to craft instead, or a 10-year-old who's wanting to sew. Now, once you become a pro at it, then I'll have Jackson make it, because I think he would have fun making it. Okay, this is my base. Now, as I showed you before, this was my base for this basket, and it doesn't have enough of a bottom to really hold it level and steady. So that's why I wanted to make a bigger bottom. I may have made a too big of one. Heck if I know. There, that way you don't see this fat arm all the time. Okay, let me get rid of these little threads so I don't get them caught. I have a little command hook here on the flat side of my sewing machine. I keep those scissors on if you're wondering. All right, let me adjust. Okay, now please tell me if this works for you or not, because I am at a totally different side, different angle. I'm going to start, and what this does is this kind of starts coming up over the side, and that's what makes your side. So I'm going to start lifting it a little, not much. That's a gradual lift, as you can see. Okay, looks good. Thank you, Gail. And you guys, and I'm not being critical of myself, I am a very novice sewer. So if I can do this, I know y'all can too. Even if you're a novice sewer less than me. And I am sure I am not the first one to come up with making fabric rope into bowls. I just didn't look for it on YouTube because I was going to do it my way. So it really didn't matter. And I kind of, for fun, didn't want to see how anybody else did it to see if my way worked. Now, the little ones I made, I went in and showed my husband. He wasn't a bit impressed. He goes, "We got bowls in the cabinet. Why are you making some?" You know, that he doesn't get it. And I'm not trying to make a side. I am still just coiling around and trying to get the two coils sewed together. The key part, as I learned with my bowl Sunday, is making sure you get in the ditch of the two ropes coming together and holding it tight, because I had to go back a lot and catch where it was coming apart like it is here. I'll go back here in a second. Well, I'll do it right now. And anytime I stop, I backspace just for the sheer protection, because I don't want to do it again. So as you can see, where is it? These two are kind of coming apart. I just stick those, and I'm going to do it so you can see it. I just stick that baby under there, backspace it, and sew those two together. Backspace it and come back up. And I'll check while I have it out for any more. Yeah, there's another one. And I am sure as I get more experienced, I won't need to do that. But for right now, I do. It would, Joni. That'd make a very cool rug. All right, now I've got my big ball. I don't have cats, so I don't have to worry about them wanting my ball. I do, however, have that bowl so that it can roll around in it. The spool, when I was doing it all the first time, just rolled around on the floor. Okay. So now I'm going to add this to the end of that. So I am just kind of putting it together there. Get rid of my thread. And I will do a back spacing. And there may and probably is a much better way of hooking those together, but I don't know it. Okay, I'm going to speed up just a little, not very much. Now, if I knew how to pause and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know on live stream that you can. Now that I've shown you how to do it, you know, I could pause and stuff. Oops, I need to get that out of my lap. But I don't know how to do that. So you guys are just going to have to suffer through this if you want to see the end result. I know Gail's going to have to leave and get groceries. And I know I just screwed up there a bit. There we go. And using variegated thread kind of just adds more color to it. And I'm not named Calico for nothing. Let me get a drink and catch up a second. Oh, yes, Teresa, that would be cute. See, I knew Gail was going to have to leave, but she'll be back. Oh, good, Pam. I'm glad you're not suffering. Okay. Oh, I love variegated thread. Okay, let's go. I think these would be also cute if you're at a tailgate party and you used your team's fabric. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to have to get another bobbin. Now I backspaced. And like I said, I am using bobbin that I already have. Like now I'm going to blue. I had red. Oh, I don't want to do blue. That's the color of Emerson's little dress. Let's go to green. So to me, you know, it's kind of a good way to use color you don't use much anymore and you had an extra bobbin made. If I didn't have all that extra bobbin, I'd have done more up, but okay. So I'm starting back spacing and then up on the sides. This, I'm hoping, will be a big bowl. I would like for it, I keep my yarn all in a antique wooden bowl. But I think it would be fun to keep something like that, you know, in one of these, but I don't know that it's going to be big enough or anything. So to me, this is a good way to use up those spools. I would think, Pam, you would know better than I. Couldn't you use up your cheaper thread? Well, I mean your old thread that isn't as sturdy, because it's just a bowl that's going to sit there. It's not like it's going to get hard use. I don't know, unless it, you know, wouldn't last in your sewing machine. I have a lot of old thread my mother-in-law had, because she had quit sewing except to mend years ago, and I check it if it's good, but you know, I don't want to make little dresses or pillowcases, you know, those kind of things out of that old thread. But I hate throwing it out too. I think it's going to turn out. You know, there's nothing like experimenting on live YouTube. I love all the colors. I hope y'all can still see. Pam, I'm hoping you're answering that thread question. It was a true question, not rhetorical. Barbara, I hope this is all you were wanting it to be. These would make fun Christmas gifts out of strips of leftover Christmas fabric. And then put like vintage Christmas balls or cookie cutters. Wouldn't this be cute with Christmas fabric? And, or if you're like Pam and you've just got all this fabric sitting around, you could just cut it up. Or fabric maybe somebody gave you don't care about. You know, if it's in a bowl, it would be fun. Especially if you're giving it away. You know, you could give it to somebody who might really like that. Okay, let me look what question, what thread. Yeah, she was really paying attention, wasn't she? Pam, I'm wondering if for these bowls, you could use your thread to sew it. That's old thread, not your new thread. I was wondering if old thread that you wouldn't want to make a garment out of could be used for this. That's what I was wondering. I do that too, Pam. I'm doing other stuff, so I don't always hear everything in the live. I'm just teasing you. I don't expect everybody to listen to every word I say, especially on something like this when I'm just going in circles. Okay, way back when my needle came unthreaded, usually my sewing machine tells me. Huh. Oh, I've got a twist. That's something that I've noticed my variegated thread. Does more of. Houston, we have a problem. Talk among yourselves. My thread broke and some of the ends got caught. Okay, we are ready to go again. For anyone, if there's anyone just joining, I am making fabric bowls out of fabric rope. And I started out this live with how I made my rope. And now I'm using the rope I made. And there may not be anybody new here. I haven't looked at my chat. Out of strips of fabric I have. Yes, this has a needle threader, but I don't like it. So I just do it the old-fashioned way. And I do it myself. Okay, let's back up. And let's start back here where I lost my thread and didn't realize it wasn't threading. See, my mind started wandering. Okay. Oh, Teresa, you just got a machine. Singers are great. I got an old singer in Florida that I got back in '83. It was Greg's first Christmas present when we got married. This one's trash, Pam. And I knew that when I bought the machine, but I was so used to threading my own machine, I didn't care. Okay, Pam, so you think the thread would work? Awesome. Well, I think that's good to know for that old thread. All right, I am going to start this back and hi, Lori. I saw you came in, but my mind was on that thread question. Well, I think it's good to find something that we can use old thread for. But, you know, I don't want it continually breaking in the machine either. And I do like this variegated. And I don't want Jackson using the old thread because I don't want him getting frustrated. But I have my mother-in-law's grandmother's sewing basket, and that's what I keep all of that thread in. She gave that to me years ago. I'm going to back up. I do this as I see a gap in my coils. I try and stop and get them when I see them. And then I check to see if there's any more. I'm sure few more experienced seamstress won't have that. But I do. There's another one. And they're so easy to fix, and I don't think they're that noticeable. Now, by making your own rope, you are going to have the straight stitches and the mixed in zigzag. So, you know, if that's going to bother you, that might be something to think about. There's another one. And I try and I go further back and forth than I would have to, but that's just for sturdiness sake. I'm trying to get all these little loose threads because, ooh, there's a big one down there I've missed. Where is that? And if this was going to be a gift, I'd probably be more careful. But remember, you know, this is my first basket out of handmade rope. The other was made out of that placemat twine. But as you can see, I'm going to come down a little bit. It's really taken shape. I could stop almost now if I wanted to. But and I might here in a minute. I'll probably come up here, go just a little bit, but then I'm going to probably stop. I'm going to leave that up a little bit. I don't want my bottom flat. I don't want my bowl to get bigger than what the bottom can support. Might start another one. Y'all want to see it, but okay, so that is my fabric bowl. I'm going to cut it at an angle. And then zigzag it on a little bit. which there's probably a better way to do that than what I just did. But there she is. Oh, go back up a little. And there today is my first fabric bowl. Not on this one, Pam. I did watch where they had, I'm just cutting these strings off here as I find them, where they did, and it's really not hard. But for this one, I'm not. I may go ahead and put all that thread in it or something. I don't know. I will move this around several times. I saw where you could make an oblong one, and when you start, you take it and you start kind of, no, this is what they did. Take it and then do this. I think it was something like that. Oh, I think it went like that. And then she made like a platter. And then she had a I can't say that word. But then she had, yeah, an oblong basket too. But for right now, I don't really, I'll have to watch where they make the baskets handles. I'm just glad to have a basket made. It's fairly sturdy. It is bendable. Fall fabric, if I get my scarecrow panel, quilt, whatever you want to call it, done, I might take all that leftover fabric and do a fall one. And wouldn't this be cute with all those little owls that Becky is showing us? Now I have some fabric like hanging down that was a little wider, and I just snipped those off. So you could leave them, or like this. See that little one? You can snip that off or you can leave it. You think it should be 18 inches deep? Ooh, I need to sew right there. Why 18 inches deep? Oh, with handles. Oh, that would be cute. Yeah, Marty, when you get that done, would you show me? Because I don't know if I'd have the patience. But I have a little fabric basket that I can say I made her myself. Should we try another one? Or are you guys ready to do something different? So it took an hour to do this. It's not hard, Pam. It's not hard at all. It's just sitting here that long. Now, if you're, you could stop and start. But my arms get kind of tired if 106 years. Time does fly. Now, I think this would be fun to do if you had somebody to sit and talk to while you're doing it. Like Pam, if we were making these and chatting or FaceTiming at the same time, then I think it would be a lot more fun. I'm enjoying this because you guys are all here to talk to. I enjoyed it listening to a book. It was hard trying to keep up on YouTube. I finally gave that up because when I was twisting the rope listening to YouTube, I would want to keep seeing what they were making, and I couldn't. Okay, Barbara. But Pam, maybe we could do that some Tuesday. You could live stream with me. That might be fun, and the two of us together. So, or maybe we could just Zoom as a practice and then maybe on a live stream, because I know you don't do lives yet. Yeah, I jump into the frying pan. So let's see if we can do or figure out. Oh, yes, Teresa. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. Easter. Wouldn't with handles those be cute with little kids? Oh, you can, you just don't. Okay. With little kids on an Easter egg hunt. All right. Back to the showroom floor, and I'm going to try and do an oblong. No idea what I'm doing. I'll back you up. Did that work well for the sewing? Because I think it would be fun to show how I do these towels where you hook them. I'm sure a lot of you have made these, and then you put them over your handle. And I used elastic because I didn't have ponytail ties. And my sister, I think, uses ponytail ties. But here's a yellow and green. But I thought this might be fun to do on a live. I thought this one with the little star, I put in that cute on the bottom of the towel. I need to wash them. That's why they're laying on the ironing board, because that's as far as they got. Yes, Pam, that would be fun. Joni was here earlier. She may have stepped away. Oh, Sarah, you use them making a pot holder. I've seen that with the pot holders. That's right. Instead of bits and bobs, tiskets and taskets. Teresa, you are full of ideas, you little spitfire, you. Okay. So I'm going to try and do an oblong. So hold it together. Well, that didn't work. Don't know why. We'll just pin it. Okay. These long ones are easy to hold on. Yes, Pam, I did receive those. Thank you. I'm sorry. I thought I told you. And I don't want to lose the straight pins. Like I said, I like to cut these things off so they don't cause a problem. Okay. For some reason, there. This is harder, I think, than going in a circle. Maybe I didn't go far enough in my coil before I started. Maybe I started on the sewing machine too soon. I'm going to kind of do work on this bottom start first, because I see right here where it kind of fiddling. Okay, now I think I'm ready to Joni, if you're here, I wonder if this is similar to when people used to crochet. I know you do wonderful crocheting. Crochet rag rugs. Does anybody know? That wasn't lovely. That was a horrendous sound. Okay. Let's start again on that. I see a gap here I want to catch. Hi, Queen Bee. Okay, so let's start this again. Yeah, see, it's just going back into a circle. Well, it's kind of oval. oval basket could be fun. I'd appreciate if any of you are here and have not subscribed to subscribe and to do a thumbs up. My goal is 500 subscribers now that I did my 100 giveaway last week. And I love your comments afterwards. I comment on everybody's, at least I try. Okay, I'm out of bobbin again. Oh, that's fine. I appreciate you sharing. Okay. Here's a brown we can try. I'm about to run out of corrugated thread. So when I run out of corrugated thread, we're going to stop on the sewing this. Okay. I'll have to get more thread. So we'll take another break then. Okay, I think I can start raising it. I like the brown thread. I think it kind of gives it a primitive look. That was the word I was searching for earlier about. Something I was talking about. I don't remember what. We have a very busy week this week. Andy had to head to southern Missouri early this morning. And so we'll be helping Nikki with getting Jackson into football practice and taking care of him, which I have him every afternoon pretty much anyway. And then Thursday after work, Andy and Nikki are headed to Nashville to go to something, a radio station she listens to all the time is having something. I don't remember what. Maybe it's the DJ's going to be down there. But anyway, her birthday is Friday. So that's on her bucket list, is to hear this guy in person or see him or whatever it is. And so we're going to have the kids all weekend. Well, they're leaving Thursday afterwards, so I'll just stay down there at the house so I can get up and get them ready for school Friday morning. And Friday morning is grandparents' day, so we'll go in and eat breakfast with them. I think they do donuts. And then after school, Jackson will ride the bus, but Emerson has a birthday party. And then Saturday, we'll pick Emerson up at the birthday party after lunch. And Jackson has a football game an hour away. This is his first. He's a fourth grader, so we have to play fourth, fifth, and sixth graders enough to have a team. And so we'll have a football game. So we'll pick up Emerson and then do his football game. And that didn't last very long. And then come home from that. And then I'm just going to use a white thread. Sunday, Mom and Dad will be home Sunday night. So, we'll have quite the little busy weekend. We had Jackson yesterday off and on until he got stung by a bumblebee helping Papa pull trees out of the pond. And he's very allergic to them. He used to have to do an EpiPen, but does not anymore. He has it, but I thought both Mom and Dad had gone to Emerson's parade, but I found out that Nikki woke up with a migraine, and so she was home, and so she gave him Benadryl, and he slept it off. And he's fine now. So, but I did ask Nikki and Andy if we are for sure on the list if like he ended up having to go to the hospital for something, like after the football game or one of them got sick, you know, could we take him to the doctor or whatever? And Andy said yes. When we retired, every year he has to fill out, you know, doctor forms and dentist forms and all that. He started adding our name to all of that. So we can take him to the dentist for allergy shots. We can pick him up from school and whatever. He didn't know about the hospital. But, you know, half the nurses I've taught, and everybody knows everybody. So, and the CEO is the daughter of my best friend. So I am sure if something happened, and that's the end of my thread. They would let me, you know, they would take care of him yet. Okay, Barbara. I didn't know it could hurt the sewing machine. I won't use it. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, Pam. Somebody's been doing something under our noses and we don't know. Somebody will just have to catch me. I'll re-listen to this. Now my arm's in the way. I'm sorry. No wonder you guys started talking among yourselves. Okay, I'm just reading. Gail's back. Thank you, Barbara. That's what I do, Pam. My mother-in-law taught me that little trick. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Stace. Okay, this is how far I've gotten on. I'm apologizing. See, you're seeing this fat arm more than anybody wants to. But this is my second little bowl. And I think I'm out of thread, but I think I'm gonna cut it here. And I still have this much. So I could make another basket, but it would be little. So I think I'm going to stop on that and wind up some more fabric. And I did not get to backspace on this when I wasn't paying attention to my thread. So when I re-thread my machine, I am going to do that. But I think I'm going to leave this size. That's not a bad little size bowl. I just thought, I know it's scary. And I've got some little spots where I need to go back and catch my little gaps, like right there. Can you see where my finger can go through? But I won't do that while y'all are watching. I do like the brown on the outside is what the bobbin is, and on the inside is what the top is, if that makes a difference. It doesn't to me. I'm sure if you wanted, you could do this. So your bobbin thread was in the middle. I don't care one way or the other. Thank you, Stace. So anyway, I will finish this up and all that on my own. I'm not going to make you sit and watch all that. But I do think they're turning out cute. So I've got two baskets now. This one and this one that I've made. I've got this one I made earlier with the twine from the woven placemat that I had. I have this little one that just holds my little clips, but not really big enough to do that. And then I have this first starter one that I was just seeing if I could do it at all. And I am sure Emerson's going to have a plan for that. So right now, 4 bowls is a nice amount. I will keep making them as long as I have fabric strips. I do like doing that for you new people, just to catch up a little bit. What I took is strips of fabric that I had, and I cut them into whatever size strips they were. And that's what I sewed together. And if you want to see how I started and all that, it's at the very beginning of this video. I'm not going to do that again on live, but it's there for you to see if you want to. And most likely, you can figure it out. I hate all these loose threads in the middle of this fabric because then it tangles it. So that's why I'm getting this all out. So there you be. Now, not knowing how long this was going to take, I thought if you would like, I would do a tour of this room. Not that it's fancy, not that it's all that, but because I know some people don't have a room just designated as a sewing room. And that's the case for me here in Missouri. In Florida, Greg and I share a bedroom that is my craft room and his office. But when we are up here, I don't have that luxury. So I have the living room that I share with. I know many people share their bedroom. Oh, please, Barbara. You don't have to ask anytime. So, if you want, I'm trying to get rid of some of this thread. Now, my house is not cleaned. It's not picked up. The cantha blanket I was using in my chair this morning. You know, I'm one of these, I don't care what season it is. If I sit down, I want something over me. I am trying to kind of pick up here around me so it doesn't fall off and I step on it. And it's still in the chair laying there. I mean, I've not cleaned or nothing. I definitely have not dusted. This is the pillows on the sofa are as Jackson sat in them. So don't expect fancy. If you don't want to see this portion, feel free to close your eyes. I don't want to tell you to leave, but I will tell you to close your eyes. So, get my tea. Undo it. And I'm going to make sure. Okay. This is the hallway into the big room. As you can see, I'm trying to get this all focused in. Okay. As you can see, as I walk into the living room, This is the living room portion on the left of the room. And so the first thing, I'm backing up, the first thing you will see is the two recliners and this bookshelf. Now, this bookshelf, my mother in law had full of books. I mean, all books except for the clock. She had the antique clock there. But I use it as storage. Like there's wooden spools, but in here are my letters if I want to do ransom something. Here are knitting books. Here's a journal. I've never done anything. I love Debbie McComer's little shop on Blossom with all the knitting. This is Greg's grandmother's hat box. I use as a button box and it won't close anymore. Selena with the More Fabrics. Yikes, sorry. Gave me this little sewing basket from one of her junk in a trunk things, and that's where I keep all my needles. Here are fabric flowers. Down here are painted rocks from one of Marlene, my mother-in-law's trips out west. Petrified wood is right there. This is hard to do on StreamYard. These are just some books. This is some of my clips. These I think are pretty cool. I made a matching game. Instead of I Spy, I made a matching game of novelty fabric I had made the kids stuff with. And Emerson gets these out quite frequently to play with. So those are there. Then here is my mother's desk from when she was little. And that's Emerson's stuff. Her crayons, her everything. This is a antique table that was my great grandmother's, and I have all my laces in this container of my fabric flowers, and yo-yos are in there. This is where I keep my cutting mat. So I've kind of got stuff out here in the living room. Underneath is Emerson's toys. Imagine that. And then there's the kids' books. Here are a few of my quilts. This was my mother-in-law's. This was my husband's baby quilt, or vice versa. These are just some of the family quilts from his side of the family. Emerson, couple of years ago, thought her picture needed hung, so Jackson hung it, and I let him. This is all dark paneling, even the ceiling, so it's kind of dark in here, but Greg's not ready to paint. Okay, the TV stand. This is Emerson's kitchen, and she gets it all out, and then she brings it here to this round table. These are seashells. Greg's great grandmother, I believe, collected. There's a trunk that I made into a toy box that was here. Then you've got the sofa. Here's a quilt my sister made. Well, can you see? This is really hard. I'm sorry if I'm making you sick. Maybe if I back up. Okay, there we go. This is another quilt my sister made. These are some mixed media things I made that Jackson thought needed hung. So he went and got the hammer and nails and hung them up. And there's somebody was asking what a snippet roll. Joni was. And this is a snippet roll. It's there. This is Jackson's section of the living room. Those are his tractors and all of that. It's a little alcove. The front door is sealed, so he can just keep all of his tractors. And then under these two tables, he parks them sometimes. Down here is this is all my yarn right here and my knitting. I'm a nester. So anyway, that's the living room portion, but you can see where things have moved over into that part. Now, as you walk in, straight is my little snippets of fabric for embroidery or slow stitching, my thinner thread, salvage ends. This is Marlene's vintage sewing box. And underneath is where I found all the old snaps and old things like that. And I just left them in there. This is just how she left her measuring tape and stuff. So that's all right there. Here's that old basket with the old thread in it. These I don't think are too old, but. And then there's just some of my embroidery, the old quilt I made. This is the old quilt I made the hearts from. Embroidery thread. Ironing board I just keep out. And then in these cabinets here, that's my fabric. That's all the fabric I've got. So some people think I probably have lots of fabric. I don't. I don't have a lot of room to store it. So this is my dresses to mail, Marty's slow stitch thing, and some happy mail to mail here on the refrigerator. These are my projects. There's some outdoor lives that were Greg's grandpa's. And then here are bigger pieces of fabric I can cut into squares. Here's all the flannel I have. That's all I've got. So I ordered more. This won't stay in here. I just was using it for that big ball. Here are my towels to make the hand towel things with. Here are slow stitching projects. That's my sewing machine cover. Here is my friend. These are projects in line that I need to do. And if I turn, you can tell right here's my sewing machine. Here is Marlene's little, she always kept her hand sewing in here. That's the yarn the kids know they can play with. This is all of my trims, rickrack, that kind of stuff. This is my apron and all my embroidery machine stuff. Here are bias tapes and ribbon with wire and stuff. And then down there's elastic. This sewing machine table will always be special to me. This is an old Singer sewing machine. What is so special is Jackson last year for 4-H made the table. His daddy is quite the woodworker, and this table is flawless. Andy taught him how to sew the boards together, sand it, varnish it, every step. His daddy showed him how, but he did it. So that's will always be special to me. Okay. Turn back around. You'll see this counter has all of these closed covered cup. But in here, you'll see all that's in here are photo albums and slides. I do have a little spot that I do put my patterns in, but that's it. So that's something to still go through. Then over here, you'll see markers, my index cards, my junk journaling stuff, all here. This is Emerson's back there. Here are beads, are in that cupboard, because I don't get into them too much. The bottom shelf, the kids know they can get into. The second one are cards that are made, and the top one is extra stuff. And I'll do the very top in a minute. And this one are like my gelatas, oil paints, embossing, wax, the paint brushes. These are the alcohols. And here's all the paints. We have lots of paint because the kids love painting. This is Masari silk. Then back here, I have the picture of Andy and Greg and Jackson with Jackson's first deer. And this is my work table. So you can see I don't have much space back here. And I have drawers of stuff to do my ephemera and all the whatnots that you have. I have a lot of these little fabric baskets I made, and these have my pearls and sticklers in it. But that's what's here. This is my glues. These old jars I found up in a cupboard. So they have like my wax seals, little bows, and that kind of stuff. And the sewing chair are all my stamps, and below that are canvases. And then behind that, I took Marlene's vintage travel suitcase, and that has all my sewing journal stuff in it. And then in this cupboard I found upstairs is all of my jelly plates, my stencils, napkins, and all that kind of stuff. And then there are magazines, trash, little patterns that I just want to keep handy. Then above the counters, I have the bears a friend made for me of a great aunt's nightgown and a pair of Jackson's blue jeans. Behind it is a painting my mother-in-law did. And then there's One of those old boxes that was my grandmother's. And then here is an old picnic basket that my husband found in an old shed. There are pictures from my side of the family. I love that Mary Poppins quote: in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. I had that in my office. Moving down is a old jar with more thread in it. I hope you can see this. An old basket, old doll, and then that, I think it's Charlie Chan, that my mother-in-law had. At the very back is a painting my mother-in-law did and her horse statues, and then the Raggedy Ann and Andy my grandmother gave me when I was 16. So that pretty much is the space that I have. Now, in the table that I have my lace and stuff, there is a little drawer at the end of it, and I keep my um chalk for my patterns, some of my cutting rulers, that kind of stuff in it. So that is my space. That is where I do whatever it is I'm going to do. All right. Oh, yes, Marty, some of them are drill bibs. I hope that didn't bore you, but I thought that might help some people who are trying to make a spot for themselves that don't have one. So that is what it is. Snooping through someone's washroom bathroom cabinet. Okay, I'm glad some of you were enjoying that. I do have some very old books there on that bookshelf. I didn't, go through everything. I just wanted you to kind of see how I tried to store and still keep it somewhat a living room. Jackson calls it the playroom. Because he says everybody plays in there but Papa. And no, Papa doesn't play in it. He'll come in once in a while and watch TV, but we don't have very good reception. Next week, I think it is, we're having somebody come, and Greg is getting it's not a cherry picker shirt, one of those things that raises you way high. And he's going to turn the antenna on the roof. And then Greg's, while he has it, is going to high pressure wash the outside of the house. No, Sarah, really, I'm not. I have to have it somewhat tidy, or I have a husband that knows what all I have. So, if you look at when I'm in Kansas at my sister's sewing room, he thought I had more fabric than she did. And I convinced him that no, there's no comparison to the fabric I have. Now, I do have fabric down in Florida, but I still don't have lots. When I was sick and I had to stay pretty much sedentary all the time, I did kind of sit in a chair and go through my fabric. Hi, Zena. And Janice, hi. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody, because I had trouble with that tour, trying to get my stream to go through. I sat and I sorted through fabric I would never use, ribbon I hadn't used, and I put it in bags. And he took it to the thrift store for me, or yeah, thrift store for me. Um, because that was something I could do and sit and feel like I had accomplished something. Um, I love seeing them to Wendy's. I'm nosy. I want to know, inquiring minds. But I did just buy $100 worth of flannel because I'm out. I mean, what was in that one little container is just scraps. So Joann's was having that 2.99 a yard. So I ordered 2 yards of everything I ordered. I ordered 2 yards so I could make some blankets and stuff for the foster babies. They've been getting in a lot, and I found out that they're wanting receiving blankets because a lot of babies that they're getting, remember, very, very, very small town. A lot of the babies they're getting are not from here. And they don't are coming straight from the hospital, and so they may have some stomach issues from whatever mama was on and stuff, and so their burps are more throw ups, and they're needing bigger than what my burp cloths are. And so I will get busy on making those when I get them. I am caught up. Like you saw the box on the ironing board, I'm mailing that. I have an appointment today, and I'm mailing that to Mari Sews of the Project Dress a Girl, but I'm out of cotton, and I don't have a thrift store. I have a consignment store, and I have a Mennonite store that are very close. But the Mennonite stores, like buying it from Joann's full price or Hobby Lobby or something, it's $8 a yard. So until I get another really good sale to buy cotton, I'm at a stopping point of making those dresses. I do have some knit. I have some specialty fabric and stuff, and I have some linen, but I don't have, thank you, Pam. I don't have cotton. I have some solid cotton leftovers. So I'm not asking for any. I'm just saying until I can get to the spot where I can pick up some, I'm at a stopping point. But I do have Emerson's dress to finish. I have the pillowcases that I want to get done today because I think my sister finished up Jackson's quilt. So, and Emerson already had her quilt. So I'm wanting to get those all done. So when he gets his quilt, he has his whatchamajigger. I know I'm not looking at the camera. I'm trying to watch the chat. Bye-bye, Stace. Thank you for coming. No, Sarah, it doesn't have to be baby prints. If you have a close by DFS or something, someplace like that, that's Department of Family Services here. They will take anything you have for baby blankets and stuff. I just use flannel. Cotton's not quite as absorbent and warm. Um, but if you have regular cotton, oh, I'll pay for the shipping. Yes, thank you. But don't feel like you need to, Sarah. Um, I was just saying I just need to get out of town and pick some up. But thank you for offering. And yes, I would pay for shipping. Um, Thanks, Barbara. I love to sew. I just need somebody to sew for. I do have upholstery fabric that I want to make some more fidget mats for, and I'll do that on a live sometime. Those are really fun to make. And I do need to use those up. I now can, got my bowls I can make. And if you think about it, nursing homes would take those. If you're thinking, oh, I'd love to make those, but what would I do with them? Take them to the nursing home. Um, this little one here, that would be great for somebody's office for paper clips. So, take what you've got. I've got lots of scraps. I will be taking my scraps that are in the picnic. I didn't show you underneath the table. There's a reason for that. But I have a picnic basket under the craft table, and that's where I keep my medium size fabric scraps in that I passed out that day to Jasper and Jen and Julia and Zena and all those people. And I have Jackson's cardboard. I always keep cardboard under there because he likes to get out the glue gun and build stuff. And then I have a tote, and that's where I keep batting and my roles of interfacing and stuff like that. Oh, Sarah, see, so many things you can do. My sister, they make quilts. There's a camp for foster kids, and they make quilts, and when the kids leave camp, they get to take the quilt home with them. So I just think, there are so many needs out there I can fill. And I'm playing, and I'm having fun. So I might as well share it with everybody else. Um and my brother and my younger sister feel the same way. He does hurricane flooding victims. He has a semi that has shelves and stuff that they can, as soon as the hurricane's over, it's on its way, stocked with towels, donated, and sheets and all kinds of stuff. And away it goes. And it is, he's done it for enough years now that people know about it. And he goes places where he has a contact from his stages and from events and festivals. So there's somebody on the inside that knows him that can get him into the center of the problem, and there's everything they need. FEMA has porta potties at his place that were taken care, built, and everything, and just left there. He donated part of his property, and they're sitting, and then they can go. The Panhandle is notorious for getting hurricanes, but 3 hours away is New Orleans, and Texas isn't that far. And then to the right, you've got Georgia and the eastern coast. So by putting it there at his spot, they can easily get to where it needs to go. Then my younger sister, you saw the things that she did, or you can, if you look at her, watch her sewing room. And because I explain all the different things she goes to. Now she's a better seamstress than I am. She makes a lot of the little makeup bags. And I have made them, but they're a chore for me. They're hard for me to make. And all of the stuff I have is in Florida. I like to make taggy blankets and stuff, but all the things I use to make that is in Florida. So, I'll do those down there. As Greg says, I can't have everything in both of them. Oh, thank you, Gail. Um, so, tote bags, or like people do the shopping bags and stuff, all that fabric's also in Florida. But if I keep, some things up here and some things down there, then I'll be good. um Pregnancy clinics need so many things. And if I'm down there, we have a Santa Rosa kids house that I donated a lot of things to, where if a child is pulled from the home, all of the doctors they will need to see, the counselors, the psychologist, all of that come to them. And they don't have to go to all those appointments. And so I had donated baby blankets and a lot of that stuff to them because I was out of room and I was just storing them um, to do some kind of like little selling event, market event, and I never did do it. So I donated it. Um, Greg doesn't mind so much me donating if it's not in the house. He kind of has a problem with all of the stuff taking too much over. Um, he and Andy both say I have more things than Hobby Lobby. As you can see, and as you are a crafter, you can see I don't. Oh, good for you, Joni. You reorganized your family room. I bet it's wonderful. Joni does a lot of making owls and flowers and stuff like that, crocheting. All right, Barbara, you must run. Um, what did Melody say? Yes, I know. Melody, Melody, Melody. I'm looking up in the stream for when Melody said something and I was running off at the mouth and missed it. Zena, I am ready to paint. And the gray I do like. My problem is Greg is not emotionally ready for me to paint. So, until he gets to that point, it's going to say as is. This was his mother's home. Oh, Melody, you're not kidding. They've gone up. Um, so, I have to respect that. Um, It is, Gail. It is hard for him, and it was very sudden. So, that makes it more difficult, and he's coped very well. But until he's ready for me to paint, I won't paint. And now I am not almost, I am to the point until Emerson is bigger or older, I should say. Right now, if Jackson wants to hang something on the wall, I let him. If Emerson gets paint on the carpet, so be it. Um, I try and be as careful as I can with them, but it does happen, but I don't have to worry about it. If I had just painted and gotten all new floors, Nana'd be a little pickier. I'd be a lot pickier. But if I know that I'm going to paint later, it is what it is. And I hated that little desk of Mom's. A heart got leaked into onto the wood, but she's gonna get that someday. She did tell me the other day that desk was getting that chair was too small for her. She said, Nana, we're just gonna have to get rid of that chair and get me a bigger one. Well, little does she know that little chair is probably 80 years old or more, and it's not going to be given away. It's going to be there until she can't, you know, till she takes it to her house, um, for her little girl someday. So, it all is what it is, and you just make do. I have more than most people. Not too many people own 3.5 houses. We have the one in Florida. We have this one. We built the one the kids live in. And then my mother-in-law had a rental in town that Greg's brother and um, he both own. So, that's a lot more than most people. So I'm not going to complain. I'll just sit in here and sew to my little heart's content and dust and vacuum when I have to. But I do love these cabinets. These cabinets are what my mother-in-law had Indian relics and things her grandfather had traded with Indians that lived on the um, farm about 2 miles away. He lived there, and he traded with them. So there were all kinds of stuff. But when she passed, we kept a few arrowheads that are down at Andy's, and we sold them as a lot to a man. I agree. It's still their house. Like Andy and Nikki, they wondered when we retired if we'd want that house back. No, they've made it theirs. It's their house. Um, I'm not worrying about it. Marty, I do too. I need Pam to be my sister. I need Pam to live much closer so when I run out of cotton, I can just run right over there and pick some out. I keep telling her I want a tour of her sewing room because I want to see all that fabric in one spot. I think that would be beautiful. I'm reading some of the chat that I missed. Joni had to go and Barb's had to go. Gail's gone and come back. I don't listen to naysayers either. It is what it is. Poopy on the neighbor. Oh, is in bags and stacked. See, I want to get it out, and as soon as I get it home, I get the tags off and it gets washed. Especially if it comes from a consignment store or thrift store or something. In fact, in Florida, as you walk into the laundry room, and I don't even carry it on into the house. It just goes right there. I take the tags off, throw it away. No, Julia. No, I'm in Missouri. We'll be here in Missouri till probably January or the end of December at least. No, you send it to my Missouri address that I'm sure you probably have. Um, a gift for Emerson. You are just too sweet. You made, of course you did, Pam. I am in awe of all the stuff you can make. Fabric bags that you make, then I bet they're really sealed so that germs don't get out. Julia, have you gotten your fabric yet? It's been mailed. I understand now why they talk about postage to England. Oh, the tops are open. So are they kind of like the tote bags, Pam, that you take to the grocery store markets, but probably a larger size than what my 10 by 10s are, and have handles? Okay. Then do you have them all organized by like cottons together, flannels together, upholstery fabric together? That's what I've got down in Florida too. And I thought I brought up some, but I didn't. Gail, we hope to be here till the end of December. Hunting season. Well, we are starting the most beautiful part of the Midwest of autumn, as you know, when the leaves all start changing and the weather and stuff. Um, and then hunting season will be the 1st of November. And then, so we'll stay, it ends at Thanksgiving. So we'll stay here at Thanksgiving. Well, we're here. We might as well stay through Christmas, and then we can spend Christmas with the babies. So we have talked about going to Gatlinburg. We wanted to do that, and then COVID hit. And Greg got COVID, and that's when I got pneumonia and all my illnesses started. So we would like to do Gatlinburg for Christmas. We're real big on doing experiences now that the kids are older. When that last time they spent Christmas in Florida, we did the Polar Express in New Orleans. We drove over there, and then you got on a train, and it was like being on the Polar Express, and they read this story and acted it out. It was awesome. Hi, Jen Wren. How are you? Um, Bye, Marty. Thanks for getting up early. Well, you're welcome, Gail. I tried to, I don't think I added too much after I showed it all. I enjoyed giving it. Now, if I can get to that 500 mark, I'm at 136 subscribers now. If I can get to that 100 mark, 500 mark, I mean, I'll have another giveaway. No idea what. HABD, Marty. I'm not sure what HABD stands for. Jen, I made my baskets. Sam, get the drink off the sewing machine. Aren't they cute? I just love them. And then I have some littler ones that I made out of some smaller twine from the placemat that I had. And then I gave a room tour of my living room and my sewing room. So that's all you missed. Not a whole lot. Bye-bye, Gail. Thank you for coming. Your ceiling is approximately 72.5 inches tall. So that's a little over 6 feet, but that's probably high enough for you, isn't it? As long as you don't have to bend your head. Shoney's still here. Good. Okay, you're 5'2", so that's pretty tall enough for you. You probably built it, knowing you. Well, I've been on here 2 hours. I have an appointment at 1:30 in town. I'll probably stop by the thrift store on my way back. Oh, you didn't build that room. Okay. Because it's in the basement, correct, Pam? Um, I'll stop by the consignment store, and then I will go to my appointment and mail my dresses. Marty, I will mail her. I found out that she does cross stitch, and in a huge box of stuff someone gave me, it was Pink Poodle. She gave me this brand new little case of counted cross stitch, and I've just been waiting to find somebody who did counted cross stitch, and found out that was her. And I gonna send it to her, and I have a couple Happy Mails envelopes, nothing exciting. I'm getting ready to send. Yes, you are in the basement, Pam. Okay. So I think I'm going to stop there. I'm happy with my bowls. I still have some fabric. Oh, it's a half basement. That's still a lot of room. Oh, the new prime minister arrived. I saw where you had her. Well, Barbara, that's okay. I made the fabric bowls out of fabric rope that I made, and I gave it to her. So if those are something you want to see, you got the replay. I would appreciate thumbs up if you're new. I'd appreciate you subscribing and also coming back and commenting. I'd love the comments afterwards. And especially today when I miss so much of the chat. I feel like I was rude to people. But I am going to say, have a wonderful day. We have new twin goats, and they kind of redid the pasture. Greg did some landscaping. So I may this week try and do a video of that. I'm hoping this will help my thumbnail. My thumbnails are sometimes so awful. And appreciate you so much for coming. May do a live in a day or two back at my table. This was kind of awkward for me. You can't always keep up with the chat, and I try so hard. I mean, but no, I don't. Thank you, Sarah, for coming. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for Malia for coming. Wendy, I don't think you've been to too many. Wendy, yours is one of the envelopes I'm sending with those rooster pictures. My apologies. Emerson cut them out. You all have a wonderful afternoon, a rest of your week if I don't see you. And always remember, you have a purpose. Bye-bye.